Hi there, I'm Jennifer Roberts. I'm the owner of Back Porch Communications. This video is the third in a series of 4 that's focusing all on creating a culture of customer service inside of your organization or your nonprofit. I am all in on customer service during the month of October, and this particular video is going to focus on how you can teach your team a set of customer service standards. Now, in the past few weeks, we have covered topics like why some businesses are great at customer service and others sometimes miss the mark. We also talked about just last week about customer service standards, what they are, and how you can create a set of customer service standards for your organization. Now, part of that video, I gave you some great insider information on some customer service giants and what their customer service standards are. So if you want to get a replay of that, go back, check out video number 2 in this customer service series. All right, so now, today, we're talking about training your team to a set of customer service standards. Let's assume that you've got those standards all ready to go. Now, we've got to figure out how we can get the team members to execute on those standards. Well, the bottom line is they need some training. Even as we talked about in our very first video, companies that provide good customer service, they invest in their team. Customer service training is an investment in your team members. Now you might be thinking, invest? I actually just need them to, greet the customers and smile at them and help them. Well, yeah, that's definitely true, but you're also investing in your team members in a very important growth and skill set. I'm going to use myself as an example. I was given a great customer service gift when I was a senior in high school and all throughout college when I got hired at the Walt Disney Company and worked at the theme parks in Orlando, Florida. And the training and the expectations that were instilled in me during those years where I worked for Disney gave me a lifetime, an entire career full of great customer service opportunities. It's one of the reasons that I can sit here today and talk to you about customer service, because it was it became such an ingrained piece about who I am as an employee, that when I left the company, I took that investment with me. It wasn't just, okay, well, I don't have to do this anymore. It sets an expectation, right? It's like, once you've seen it done right, it's hard to unsee it or do it wrong again. It's like you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, right? It is what it is. You've made that investment in your team. And if you've never set a set of customer service standards or expectations for your team, you're going to need to have a training session for everyone. And when I say everyone, I mean from the CEO all the way down to the very frontline staff. Even the people that do not have direct engagement with your customers on a regular basis. Even if they are completely internal and they only serve other departments in your organization, they still need the customer service training. Why? They can apply it to the work that they do to your other team members, to the other departments. And that's critically important as they serve each other in the roles inside your organization. So, depending on the work that you do and how big your organization is and how it operates, you might have to stagger these training dates. They might not be able to happen all at one time. If it's possible to have everyone come in together, if your team's small enough to be able to do that, and if your workplace operations will allow for you to take the day and have everybody in the room together, that's fantastic. But evaluate what's going to be right for your business to either stagger it and have it on multiple days or multiple times so you can rotate people in and out, or if you are able to get everyone together in one room at the same time. Both ways can definitely work. Okay, so The big question now, what do I do on the training day? I'm so glad you asked. That's where I'm going next. I have 7 key steps that can help you put together a day of training for your teams surrounding customer service expectations. Okay, here is my first tip. Choose a dynamic facilitator. This is really important because you want someone upbeat and high energy that is going to make the day exciting. It's going to set the tone for the entire experience that your team has on customer service. So depending on your team or your budget, you may want to bring in an outside individual, and this person might be someone who could not only help you facilitate the day, but also help you set the customer service standards if you haven't done that, or they can also help you with the accountability. So finding that right person is going to be instrumental in making your training day a success. Okay, tip number 2. Explain why customer service is essential. Your team members need to know the big picture. It sets the tone of the day to start out with, why are we here? Why are we learning about customer service? What is it about right now that makes this important? And I think you definitely owe them that explanation. So some ideas that you might want to share. It's really about just sharing the why you're doing this with your team. But I just have a couple of examples. Maybe customer service is vital in your business for retention, for customer retention, getting them to come back, purchase again, engage again with your organization. Maybe you need customer service to be fantastic so you can build that word of mouth advertising. Because certainly if people are having great experiences at your organization, they're going to talk about it. But I guarantee you, if they're not having great experiences, they are definitely talking about that. If you want to share with your team that customer service is going to be a differentiator for your organization. Maybe your industry is not really big on customer service. Maybe you can make a big impact with your customers by upping your customer service game. That could be a reason why you want to share with your team. And maybe customer service has long been part of your organization's value system. And you just are taking the opportunity now to teach the team and give them the tools they need to really execute on that. You might want to have a little exercise that you could allow the team members to give feedback on good and bad customer service experiences that they have had in the past. That could be really important and fun. It's a way to get them engaging and talking. That's going to be important for your day as well. Okay, moving on to step number 3. You definitely need to review the customer service standards. It's the reason why you're here today. So you definitely want to have developed and you want to explain one by one each of the customer service standards. Maybe you want to give a little backstory as to why you picked that one in particular and why it is a good fit for your business, your nonprofit, or your industry. And so you might even want to think about creating a handout to give to the team that they might be able to put at their workstation or wherever they would see it regularly to remind them of the customer service standards. It might have all those listed out for them. Or at minimum, you could create a poster or something of that nature, put it in a break area, somewhere that your team is going to see it on a regular basis and get those great reminders about providing excellent customer service that they're learning at your training day. Okay, tip number 4. I would love for you to give some very specific examples of each of the customer service standards and role play those out. So pull your leadership team together. Get them to role play. One person's the customer and one person is your team member. Get them to go through some sticky situations that you might encounter on a regular basis that your team may have to deal with, and have them apply the customer service standards. It's always fun if you have some good examples of applying the standards and some not some good examples as well. It gives the team the opportunity to show what they've learned. Ask for their feedback. After they watch the role play, give them opportunities to talk about where the customer service standards did a great job or where they missed the mark. very important for you to know that your team is paying attention and that all of this is sinking in. Okay, tip number 5. You want to keep the training day fun and interactive. It's super important to keep the energy level high. Your facilitator is going to help that, but here are a couple other tips. Food, that's always a bonus. People love to eat. It gets the energy level up. So if you are running through a breakfast or a lunchtime, definitely think about feeding them. Think about some games, maybe a little treat or some prizes that you could just throw out in the audience to reward the team for participating, to reward them for answering questions or providing their input. That is super important to making sure the day stays high energy, the team is engaged, and they're listening. Okay, tip number 6, set the expectations of what happens the next time that they come to work. These customer service standards are now a part of what they're required to do every day. And at the highest level, the CEO, the president, whoever the boss is, it would be a great thing to have them set those expectations with the team. That now we're going to be moving forward, starting tomorrow, applying these customer service standards when we have engagement with our customers, no matter who that might be. Whether that's our own team members, if you have team members that only work internally and don't have customer contact, or those team members that are on the front line and do have customer contact on a regular basis. Now, is your team going to get it right on the very first day? No, of course not. But the expectation is that they should get out there and try. Apply what they learned today and see how it goes with the customers. I bet they will get some great reactions. Okay, and tip number 7. This is kind of a bonus tip that might be something you wanted to fit into your training day that doesn't have to do with teaching the customer service standards, but it definitely has to do with customer service. It is empower your team to solve customer service problems. So customer service standards are really more about being proactive and providing a great experience, but we don't always hit the target on that. Sometimes we miss the mark, and there are opportunities for service recovery. If you think about it in advance of your training day, think through some ways that you might empower your frontline team to be able to solve a customer's problem without always having to consult a manager or their supervisor or some higher level of authority. I want to give you an example of something that I just went through the other day. So you guys probably know, if you've watched any of the other videos, I used Chick-fil-A as an example of great customer service standards in my last video, and we went through what their customer service standards are, right? I think Chick-fil-A has a great customer service brand. So I was at Chick-fil-A, and honestly, I did not have a great customer experience. I'm not going to go through all the details as to why, but it was an issue in the drive-thru. And what was amazing to me was that the person that was helping me at the drive-thru not only recognized there was a problem, they upgraded my order. I got bigger fries. They also gave me a little gift card for a free cookie and a free sandwich at my time whenever I decide to come back to the store. Great service recovery. Not only did they apologize for the wait, they apologized for the mix-up, and they provided these other options. So think about this before your customer service training day. Do you have an opportunity to empower your front line to be able to solve a customer service issue that they see happening without elevating it to a supervisor or a manager? If you have that, this would be a great time to talk to your team about what options there are available to them when customer service sometimes, for whatever reason, doesn't hit the mark that you're hoping for. Okay, so those are my 7 tips. Now, I want to take a moment and just pause before I wrap this up and offer a word about online training. So as you probably gathered through all of this, the customer service training day and the tips that I've outlined for you is having a day in person. And I understand during the pandemic and with certain business models, that is not always possible. It is ideal to have it in person, but it's not always possible. So I wanted to take a minute and think about and share with you a couple ideas that I had that really maybe be able to help you if you have to do this online. Customer service is definitely a team sport, and if you want to make this information stick, providing education in person is preferred. But when you can't do that, I would highly recommend that you do it live. So do some kind of live stream. As many people as you can reasonably communicate with on a Zoom or whatever live streaming type of software that your organization uses. I would definitely try and do it live. Think about ways that you can give those fun prizes or reward people verbally for participating. It is so much harder to get people to engage on those streaming platforms, and so it is definitely something you're going to need to up the energy and up some of maybe the giveaways that you offer to get people to engage online. It is harder to do that, I feel like, than it is in person in my experience with customer service training. So think about how you can do that. The good news though here is this is really just for the initial customer service training. If you don't have to do this every single time. For example, we're going to talk next week about how to get that culture of customer service to stick and how you do that on an ongoing basis. And so not all of those things need to be in person. This initial training is great if it can be in person, but during a pandemic, sometimes that just is not possible. And so look for alternatives to keep the day fun and engaging for everyone as much as you can. Okay, so what should you do to make these customer service standards stick after the training event? Well, I'm glad you asked, because that's what next week's video is all about. It is the fourth and final session of this series that I'm offering on customer service on how to maintain a customer service culture. Okay, so if you are ready to build a culture of customer service in your organization and aren't sure that you can tackle it on your own, maybe you are looking for someone to help you do that. Well, I'm totally here for that. I help small and large organizations establish customer service standards, help to train the team, as well as setting those customer service expectations moving forward. So if creating a culture of customer service is something you're interested in your organization, feel free to reach out to me via email, leave a comment. I would love to follow up and learn more about what you have in mind. Okay, I'm Jennifer Roberts. I am the owner of Back Porch Communications. I hope to see you here the next time we're talking customer service, next Wednesday, at some time throughout the day. All right, have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Bye.